1000 Driver. Setsumetsu Evolution. Break Horn. Perfect Rise. When the 5 horns cross, the Golden Soldier Thouser is born. Presented by Zaya.
Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have the review of the P-Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, SHF Kamen Rider Thouser from Kamen Rider Zero One series. Now, I personally love the design of Kamen Rider Thouser. So apparently I did not like his character at the first place, but later in the series he does become a ally. He has a really big change of character, and after that I started to like Thouser as well. His design actually was not like this when he was first revealed, or I believe when his concept art was kind of revealed. I think everything was pretty much almost the same as the design, but like instead of having purple eyes, I believe initially it was they were announced that he will have blue eyes, but later he turned out to have purple eyes, and I think they did a good job because I think the purple eyes really suits the color scheme as well. We do love the gold and silver color scheme going on here. Alright, so let's get on with the review. So let's see what we got. So other than the figure, let's see what we get. So other than the actual Kamen Rider Thouser SHF figure, in terms of the hands, we get these specific hands, which I decided to actually attach here. We get these specific open posing hands, which are literally, no joke, is literally for this pose, because for those who haven't seen the series yet, Kamen Rider Thouser does this kind of pose before he actually transforms, and before he actually does his rider kick, he actually does this before pressing on to the belt. He also does this pose before doing it. So I just wanted to show you guys that, and they actually do give specific hands for this pose, which is pretty interesting. Other than that, we have the 1000 Driver on the belt. We have the both Zetsumitsu and Progress key inside there as well. Of course, once again, no stickers or no indication which Progress key is there, but obviously on the left side it should be the I believe it should be the Rhinoceros key, and then the left on the right one, which is the opened up Progress key, is supposed to be the Hercules beetle. Of course, not the actual DX Progress keys, but for example, this is actually more specific Progress keys meant for the 1000 Driver. I believe I should mention that as well. Let's see what we got. So other than that, here we have the equipment. I think I should pull up the camera, and here we do get some interesting stuff, which I do need to clear. I need to check on other people because there are some parts I am slightly confused about, but still, let's see what we got. And I accidentally did not arrange these fists here. So other than the specific open hands for this pose, here we have some other hands. So here we have 3 more sets of hands. So number 1, we have these hands, which are pretty much the hands that you will be holding the weapon. So a kind of a semi-trigger finger hand, which is pretty much holding the weapon. So you get one for left and right. Very, very typical and very, common. We get a set of fist hands, very common. I would be surprised if there was a figure that does not give any fist hands. And then here we have your typical open hands, which are pretty much for other purposes, for other posing. I think I'm going to leave one here just to explain something. And here we have a single hand. They only give you this one for the left arm. So this is pretty much for the 1000 Jacker weapon. So in the series, when Thouser actually tries to use this weapon, not as only a spear, but he can also pull this section out to absorb other riders' power, or he can pull this out to activate its final move for this weapon. So in order to do that, he for the pulling part, so if you pull this out, there's nothing here, but they also give you a long version to give you that illusion that he has pulled it out. And let's see, so this specific hand that was given for is to replicate that specific like pulling hand pose on the back of the handle. Of course, if you're lazy, you can always use the other hand. It doesn't really matter. It still looks okay, but they also gave you some very specific hands for these, which is pretty interesting. So just wanted to point that out. And once again, like the Beat Saber, like from the Kamen Rider Across the figure, this is also, you have to, change parts here, and be careful because this part seems to be the most fragile part upon this weapon. So just be aware of that. And finally, this part, if you see on the top, they give you another specific hand and a partial of the Raid Riser belt. I have reviewed the DX Raid Riser belt toy, so if you want to check that out, please check out my channel, my video as that. So this is the Raid Riser, but obviously, oddly enough, they only give you like not entire of the belt, only partial of the belt and the Raid Riser itself. And you are able to detach these as well, because that's how the Raid Riser or these belts made from Zaya Enterprise, which is the company. This guy is pretty much the CEO of a company called Zaya Enterprise. Still, he makes like a lot of electronic gadgets and these belts. So oddly enough, they don't give you any progress keys to put this in, and this is really odd because in the series, this guy Thouser does not carry around these belts. He carries around a different belt for his plans, which I believe is the Zetsumetsu Riser. So a lot of people were kind of confused on why they're giving this Raid Riser what with this figure. It would make sense it was the Zetsumetsu Riser. And I believe on the promo, I remember seeing some posts on Twitter saying this is actually more of a promo item, so only the first few thousand, or maybe only a certain people who ordered these will get these, but I need some confirmation regarding that. So hopefully this is actually a standard just release, but hopefully, that's just my guess. But they also give you this hand to hold the Raid Riser in a very specific way. So you have to hold this in a very specific way like this, and it does barely hold it, but one small tap and it falls off. So it's kind of an odd situation, but still works. All right, so let's get on to the articulation and some details. So let me get this off the stand, and let's see what we got. And let me just readjust the camera. There we go. All right, so for the head, I really love the head design. So he does actually have 5 horns, because there's a sound jingle effect which mentions that when the 5 horns cross, the Golden Soldier Thouser is born. So obviously 5 horns. So let's see what we got. So I do love the small details, such as on the head, where on the clear the purple section on the eyes, I believe there is a clear piece on top, and behind that is like a purple colored piece which actually has this fiberish feeling going on, which I really do love. And then so the head is pretty much standard. You can go down that much and then up that much, and then 360 twist for some reason is possible, which shouldn't be. I mean, it's good that it's possible, but keep in mind there's a human inside there. And we do have a slight chicken neck moving going on there as well, because we have another neck joint on the bottom right over here. Alright, and just be careful with the horns. Most of these horns are kind of pointy, so you might actually poke yourself and maybe bleed sometimes. Just be aware of that. And I would assume that these parts would be the most easiest areas to break if you accidentally drop the figure. Just my guess. Alright, so let's look at the arms. Now, the arms are pretty standard. I do love the armor design here. I'm pretty sure this is also another ball jointed connection for the shoulder armor. You can slightly pull out the arms to get some more extra movement going on here, and then you can move the arms about 90 degrees or less than almost 90 degrees to the side, and 360 twist. Ooh, that's stiff. Is possible. So as I said, you can pull it out a little bit more for more movement. And you still have your rotation on the arm itself, and then a nice bend going on here. So I think it's just the design. I think the joints could technically move more, but it's just the design that's colliding the way. So you have a little bit more than about 90 degree bend on the arms, and we have your standard SHF hands, which the ball joint is on the arm, not on the hands. Alright, so, and let's look at the body. The body can go, we have a very nice ab crunch going on here, and I'm not even going to try to go 360, but if you force it, it is going to be possible. But like last time, be careful not to get the belt jammed inside there. Okay. And let's get the belt. Here we have the 1000 driver. Very nice detail going on here. I do like the looks of it, although I did not buy the toy because, for reasons. We have these, once again, empty slots here for holding holsters for the progress keys. I wish this would at least come with something, but oh well. So for those who know how the 1000 driver works, on this side is a Zetsumetsu key, and he just plugs it in right away. Of course, this is a slightly different design here, but still compared to the other keys. And so you can actually use this and plug it into the weapon for this one. But of course, in the series, he actually takes out the Hercules progress key and then does it. So for now, you're gonna have to work with this. And just to give you guys an idea, as I said, there is actually a slot in the 1000 jacker right over here. I believe you can just plug it in. Yeah, I think I have to do it this way. I've done this before, so I know it actually does plug in. But once again, it has to be like a very specific direction, which is kind of tricky time to time. But yes, you can actually plug it into the weapon and use it like in the show. Of course, In the series, Kamen Rider Thouser does not do this in real life, so just keep that in mind. Somehow I'm having trouble, but you are able to put this in. I have done them before. So in the series, he just plugs it in, and then the bell jingle starts, and then you put the other key. So if I pull this out, let me just zoom in again. If I pull this one out, it will reveal the open progress key inside there. And technically, that symbol is a little bit wrong, because the way how this works is that I believe there's a symbol already here, and then you combine the two symbols. And I believe this is they just draw on the complete symbol on the key, if I remember correctly. Then again, I never bought the toy, so I could be a little bit confused, but still we have that nice detail going on here as well. Alright, so and then on the legs we have your nice side swivel going on here. Of course, if there's one thing I would like to point out that was slightly odd to me, is that I haven't seen many figures that do these, but is that you can see even like in the space stand, you can see the sides are a little bit on the roundish outer side instead of like here. So it's kind of a non-common thing, but still works, I guess. So once again, nice side swivel going on there. We can go forward about 90 degrees or less than 90 degrees, almost 90 degrees, I guess. And then back, not so much, because of the way how the structure is. The front is the back is wider than the front, so that's that. And then you can almost go at 90 degrees, but because of the design here, you're going to go less than 90 degrees. And I do suggest you don't do that too often, because I feel like this is also another part that you can scratch the paint off a lot, because most of the gold here are really well done. You have these metallic silver, you have this metallic gold color on, and they even gave you these details on like wrinkles to give you the idea that this is a actual suit going on here. And then other than that, we have a nice bend going on here on the knees, very nice. I believe the ankles are slightly, how should I say, limited compared to other figures because of overall the design of the armor. You still have a slight of a pivot going on here, but not as much compared to other figures. I think it's just the armor design that's colliding it. And we still have a toe bend, which is very stiff, and then you can move the feet side to side a little bit. Not 360 because of the design. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the figure, so I'll be right back with some demonstrations of the weapon, because there's just so much stuff you can kind of replicate from the series. Okay, I'm back. So I think the only thing I need to demonstrate is whether it can do some scenes from the series, and I think this is the best one I could think of, is until Mental Cluster Hopper comes out, is that I did the scene where the Kamen Rider Thouser is actually absorbing the power of the progress key of Vulcan, the Wolf progress key, and you can pretty much replicate that as well, where while he's stepping on the rider, he's also absorbing the key powers through the belt and using his weapon, and yeah. So this is the point where I just wanted to mention that it is a very fun figure that the more rider figures you buy from the same series, the more stuff you can replicate from the scene. So this is one thing I just wanted to show you guys and demonstrate as well. So obviously holding the weapon like this is no problem at all. You can do the absorbing part really easily. So I think I'll be right back with another absorbing demonstration, and I think that will be it. So I'll be right back. Okay, here's the final demonstration. So basically absorbing the Shining Assault Hopper progress key for his Shine system. Once again, this is while holding the spear in the correct direction is much more easier to do the pose, because like the previous one, while I was doing with Vulcan, was that I was holding the spear upside down, because for the sake of holding the spear easier and for the sake of length. So that was a little bit of a tricky pose, but once again, if you have it in the correct direction, it's much more easier to replicate the poses as well. And that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, the Thouser figure is pretty fun because of the fact that it comes with its basic weapons, and also you can pretty much replicate a lot of stuff, and it gives you very specific hands to hold the weapon and do certain poses, which is I think it was a nice touch for the figure. Because sometimes if you buy multiple SHF figures at some point, sometimes you get the feeling where it's pretty much they're all the same. But this one did not give me that feeling, so I say that is a very good plus. Of course, there are some places that is like the articulation is slightly hindered, such as the ankles and the hands. While the hands do have a good enough amount of rotation, some parts is kind of hindered by the armor parts here. So because of this aspect, it's kind of tricky to do a 360 twist on the entire hand. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. So this was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive SHF Kamen Rider Thouser. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.